Hello guys, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm going to get right to the point here because this is really important and something I really want you guys to understand because we're at a very critical time right now. And the only way that we are going to move forward, the only way that you're going to move forward is through God. Okay, there's no other way right now. There's no other modality. There's no other way. This is where we are. This is what the only way that anything is ever going to move is if you get in alignment with God and you let God move you. So this is good news because the message that I got last month was tell everybody that God is with them, right? Tell everybody God's here, right? And I'm listening to a lot of Christians who think that Jesus is going to fall out of the sky and save people, but Jesus, Jesus isn't going to save you. We love Jesus and the sacrifice, but I'm going to tell you the way right now. And some of you might have some issues with it, but other people, you're going to be like, wow, that is right. That's the only way. Okay, so first thing is that you must free yourself. You must free yourself from wherever you are. Big stuff, you guys, because Jesus is not going to come out of the sky and do it for you. He already did his work. And also, this word right here already comes when you build the relationship with God. So really, the number one issue here is that you must develop an unyielding, unstoppable, and powerful relationship to God. Now, God, who is God? What is God, right? God is the creator of all creations. God is the universe. God is source energy. And God created you. And so therefore, you are your own God. Your own God. You are your own God. That's what exists inside of you. That's what your soul is. So any of you guys doing like soul work or alignment work or manifestation work, it all comes through your relationship with God. There's no other way to do it. Okay. We are in a world where we have forgotten who we are. Why have we forgotten who we are? I'm going to show you, it's so sickening. You guys probably already know this, but it's so sickening what is going on. I'm going to leave this here. Okay, so we've been worshiping a false god. Okay, and that false god has been programs. And that false god has led to jail. You feel like you're in jail, right? Can't move forward, go side to side, you're still there, you're stuck. This is also known as matrix. We're not going to go into all of the disgusting programmings, but we'll just say this. When you get afraid, what happens is, draw this because this is kind of freaking I'm gonna wake some of you guys up to see how serious this stuff is right now and how it's like, wow, okay. So this is your soul. And I'm gonna say this is SOS. This is where we are right now. Save our souls. Right now, critical. So here's our soul. And anytime fear blocks our soul, what happens is the soul energy is literally goes off Earth. It goes off Earth and is harvested. Okay. So it's no wonder you're feeling empty right now. This is dirty, nasty evil. Okay. And it's stealing your soul. We could talk that everything that has been created, our society has been created from this to harvest our souls. Get pissed because this is happening to you. I guarantee it's happening to you. And so through the power of God and through the power of light and through the power of soul activations and through the part of soul reclaiming our soul back to what has stolen our soul, you can get into alignment. This is where you're aligned with your soul frequency. But honestly, I'm going to say like that's dead and gone. All right. So it's dead and gone because it's no longer strong enough. What is strong enough is God. You as your own God. Okay. So let's look at this now. Okay. So you got to ask yourself if you're giving your power away, if you're afraid, if you feel like, well, if you've been eating toxic foods, if you got, the jab, if you've done any of those things, and these are not bad because these are just things that if you're not aware of and you do them and you realize that's been my entire life. It's like, oh, I did this and now I'm aware of it and I catch myself, but it makes it even worse. And then we've got a bombardment of frequencies coming in to disrupt and chaos and got this. Okay, we've got so much. But I want to bring you into the solution because I'm not going to lead you to some place and not give you guys a solution. The solution is get in alignment with God. That's it. Get in alignment with God. Isn't that a simple solution? Because God created you and God's created everything that you need to be who you want to be, to have what you want to have. But the major issue, is number one, you don't know or trust the God way. Number two, you don't know how to bring God into your life. Number 3, you don't believe it's possible. Okay, these are just some things that I'm, maybe they don't apply to you, but what I experienced for a very long time was feeling alone, feeling stuck, feeling trapped because I had no idea that there was a God way. I had no idea there was a God way. I had no idea. And then I did not know how to trust God. I thought everything that was going on in my life, I was mad because I couldn't get out of jail. I mean, when you live here, this is anger, frustration, depression. This is debilitating. This is nothingness. This is not living. It's not living, it's dying, right? So I'm going to pop back over here. What I learned was that what God had in store for me was all of my love, all of my abundance, everything that I could have asked for. And my number one issue was that I did not trust God. And so what would happen to me was I tried to control it so that I could feel better. And when things didn't work out in my favor, which happened a lot, I got angry and I got angry at God and said, it's not going to work for me. Essentially, I didn't know how to bring God into my life. And I'm sharing this with you because there's probably a lot of you who want specific things to happen and understand that they're not happening for you. And it's time to, understand that the only way that those things are going to happen is through God. There's no other way that they're going to happen. And so when you live in this stuck institutional jail, self-induced jail, because we just haven't been taught this way, and I wouldn't say God is not new, but God has chosen people and preachers and speakers to say the only way that humanity is going to get through this time period is through God, by bringing God into your life. So, God delivers pain. And so one thing that I had a hard time with was, why does it hurt so much? And why does God create pain and suffering? Well, God creates pain and suffering so that there can be a point of surrender. And when God creates the pain and suffering, it's so that his children, you and me, and you're my brothers and sisters, can surrender to the plan that God has to resurrect you. Okay, so this is where, hold on one second. So at any point during this presentation, because I'm taping this and filming it, if you want to hear the God plan for your life and start to learn how to get on that pathway, which is where everything exists, all the healing, all the love, all the money, all the purpose, all the joy, all the happiness is found on the God way, then click the link below and I'd be happy to meet with you. I love this stuff. I love the fact that God is has been speaking to me. God sent me Moses. Moses showed me how to part the ways. And essentially, Moses showed me and God has showed me how to free humanity. So this is really exciting, you guys, right? Because now you know there's a way to freedom. So what I learned, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, is that real living is being in alignment with God's will. This does not mean that this is, let me put it this way. There is no cakewalk. There is no easy way out. There is no blissful living. Okay. Because in God's will, well, first of all, let me just put it this way. There's this way where you stay in fear and you create and you manifest fear and you give all your power away. That's one way of living. There's zero in between. There's no in between space. There's no gray area. And then there's the other way of living. Well, this is death. This is death. This is the death spiral. This is where you just lose this is where you lose your life. There's no life force energy. There's no vitality. So when you're in this place, the only option is this, and that is God's will. And that's where life happens. That's where love happens. That's where wealth happens. Okay, so how do I know this? Well, I want to show you what's possible for you, because when I lost everything in my life, the only way forward for me was through the will of God. God showed me my purpose. He showed me my prosperity. He showed me my love. He healed my family. He unified my life. He brought it all together. He, meaning through my heart, the will of God worked. Okay. And this was out of sheer knowing that nothing was ever going to change until I changed it. But I changed it by accepting God's plan for my life. And that's where things started to soar. That's where things started to get exciting and amazing. Manifestations and dreams and desires. Oh my God, I'm sweating. Okay, so here's what God has in store for people who choose it. Okay, financial freedom. Because money is God. This is the new financial system. Some of you guys heard that I have become my own piggy bank. And money gets deposited into my body and into my bank account. Okay, that's because money is God, and I understand money is God. Love is God. How many of you guys, well, I'll just put it this way. I've been telling a lot of people who believe that fear and love are the same thing, or that fear and love can exist in the same place. And I'm going to say right now that fear, any kind of fear, is not love. So if there's fear involved, it is not love. Love is God, that is a frequency and a vibration and a light. Okay, fear is all dark. Okay, so love and fear and love are not, they're not even close to being the same. They're complete polar opposites. So we're going to look at these. Number one, love and money, right? Because when you have love and you have money, I mean, when you really have love, like that's the predicating one. Love should really go first. Loving God, the love of God, right? And God's love for you. But I want to address why so many people don't have God in their life. Is nobody's taught them how to have God in their life. Like me, nobody taught me, I had to learn it. But it's because when we're hurt, we don't like the hurt, and we don't know how to deal. We don't know how to process our pain. So we stay in it. We don't know how to properly process our pain, so we stay in it, and we don't know how to unify with God and move forward. So what happens is we stay in a pain cycle. We stay in a pain cycle, and when we stay in a pain cycle, we block God. How do we block God when we're in a pain cycle? Is because we turn off and we're giving all of our power away to our soul being harvested. It's not fun, not good, but reversible 100%. And so the critical thing that I want you guys to get is that through surrender, your will, through surrendering your will, which is very challenging, which is to let go and let God can come in. This is important. And in God's time, provide all solutions. Not some solutions, all solutions. God provides all solutions to all challenges. Now, I'm going to stop writing. I'm going to sit down with you guys. So my question for you is, yes, it's hot and sweaty. It's the end of the day. 555. My question to you is, are you living according to God's plan for your life, or are you giving your power away to a system that is matrixy? Are you waiting for Jesus to come and save you and free you? Because that doesn't happen. This isn't living. This isn't happening. And so what's left is knowing that the way to all solutions, the way to all healing, the way to all financial challenges, the way to all challenges comes through God. Surrendering your will and letting go and letting God, so that God can provide for you in God's time, is where we are as a humanity. There is no other way. I can tell you that this is not a quick fix. I can tell you that long-term solutions to big challenges that are being that are on earth right now are all going to be solutions that come through God. You might even be one of the solutions. Like, I know I'm a solution to one of the biggest problems that are happening right now, which is people's souls are being harvested and stolen. And I help to resurrect humanity, right? I help to restore God, the God code, and help people on the God pathway, which is the way to having everything that you want. I also want to show you guys this because I haven't shared this in a while. What I Now, this is life right now. It's super messy, but hey. Okay. This is what I saw. Well, first of all, the Pyramid of Giza was about transcendence. Fear, transcending fear. This is also where I became the God code. And the infinite bank. Okay, was at the Pyramid of Giza. In Culebra, my husband and I, we unified our hearts in our marriage, and I saw our bodies become a chalice for God's abundance. And it started to pour into us. I saw a reservoir of gold. And I understood that this wasn't just for me. None of it was just for Chris and I. It was for humanity. When I was at the Pyramid of Giza, I was standing at the head of the Christ table. And it was an infinite table, and there were seats for all of humanity, for life. They were all empty at the time. What that meant for me is that I was leading this first as a woman pioneering human consciousness and the God's way, and also at the head of the Christ table, because the new earth and the new humanity is all coming from the feminine, which is the wisdom of God, which was actually left out of the Bible. The wisdom of God and the magic of God and how God worked was all feminine, and that was left out of the Bible. So I also understood that I was recreating biblical times in my own life. And that's pretty deep, and I'm not ready to like stand in it, but I do know that that's who I am. So then it was Culebra understanding that through unity of two God code creators, God source creators, and these are men and women who have the frequency of the God codes, that God was pouring in, but also that my husband and I would be working together to help resurrect humanity. And then what I saw happen was money manifestation, family healing, joy, happiness, peace, because I was no longer doing it by myself. I was doing it through God, the power of God, the essence of God, the magic of God. And I'm sharing this with you because you might be realizing right now that nothing else is working. You also might be realizing right now that you can't continue to stay where you are. And you might also be realizing that it's time to create that vision, that dream that you want. Well, because God created you, the dream you have that is is only created through God. There can't be any other way to do it. The old system of life is dead. It doesn't work. And this is the only way forward is through God. So, as always, there's going to be a link to book a call if you want to find out more, if you want to find out what God has intended for your soul. I could do a reading for you. I would love to do that because I know that there's people in this community who are ready for this work. And you're also ready to surrender the fight, and you're ready to get out of jail, and you're ready to move forward. It's through the essence of God and the energy of God that is already inside of you working, and God is waiting for you. God is waiting to pour into you. It's so exciting to think about this. God is ready and waiting and just waiting for you. All right, the link to book a call is below. Thanks, you guys, for watching. This was really powerful stuff. I'd also love to know what are your thoughts about what I shared with you guys today. All right, take care. Bye.